Hello everyone, Gaming Smiley here, and I thought with the new Joker movie out, why wouldn't I review another Batman film that's got to do a lot with the Joker that isn't live action. So I decided to choose The Killing Joke, because, you know, it's based off the 1988 graphic novel that's been mentioned before on the channel when I reviewed the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film. And yeah, it's also the only Blu-ray I've got. Not because I really like it. It's purely because of this little guy right here. This little Joker. This one. I thought for a second I was pointing at him, but no, I got him as a present. But yeah, this film, the first 30 minutes isn't very good. Apart from that, it's alright. Unfortunately, that first 30 minutes drags it down. The entire point of the first 30 minutes is to pad out the film to reach feature length, which they miss by 3 minutes, because it's 87 minutes long. In order to be a feature film, it has to be 90 minutes. But yeah, so I give this a 6 Joker cards out of 10, because it's not that great. But yeah, some of the stuff in this film is good. For example, Kevin Conroy plays Batman again. He does a good job. Same with Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill's a Joker, but he doesn't seem as into it as his other performances. Apart from one scene, he seems really into playing the Joker again. But to be fair, I think that's because this Joker is being a bit more serious than the other ones. For example, he's more emotional than he usually is. Most of the story is to do with emotions and memories for Joker, so he's not exactly as smiley and laughy as he usually is. But yeah, this was directed by Sam Wu, who also he's directed quite a lot of DC animated films, and he's directed a couple of Marvel animated films. For example, a couple of my favourite ones that I really like. For example, Planet Hulk, which is based off of the Planet Hulk comic arc, and which was also in Thor Ragnarok, but it wasn't done very well. But he's also done one of the Versus movies, Hulk Versus. Don't know which one. They might have done both, but there was a co-director. And he also done Gotham by Gaslight, which is good. Gotham by Gaslight is essentially Joker, basically Batman versus Jack the Ripper. If you want to watch that, I'd recommend it. It's based off of another comic or graphic novel. And he also did Batman Year One, which is good. I'd recommend that. He also co-directed that one. Well, I think the woman's name is the bottom. I don't remember her surname. Didn't write it down for some reason. But as I said, it's 87 minutes long, Killing Joke, and it was released in 2016. I'd recommend skipping the first 30 minutes. So, which I usually do when I watch this, but I didn't this time because I'm reviewing it, and that's it for non-spoilers. It's a bit much this time. Kinda went on a tangent, but whatever. So we're gonna start the spoilery stuff, and yeah. The first thing, as I said, the first 30 minutes is padding. It's this storyline which doesn't really matter to the rest of the plot. That is basically the Batgirl gets her own version of the Joker. His name is Paris Franz. Not France, Franz. As in Franz, I think it is. But yeah, basically, he's in love with Batgirl. He falls in love with Batgirl when they first meet, and he becomes a complete psycho. He steals from his uncle, who's a crime boss, who's voiced by John DiMaggio, who voiced the Joker in Under the Red Hood, and he's voiced several cartoon characters. For example, Dr. Draken from Kim Possible. As I said, he's voiced many, but that was one of the first ones that came to my head. But yeah, So basically, this shows, this entire first 30 minutes just shows Batgirl being Batgirl, and Paris Franz. Franz killed his uncle, and says that he's the new crime boss. And there's quite a bit in the first 30 minutes, but it doesn't matter. It was unneeded. Because, you didn't come here for the first 30 minutes to be just a random plot line that's got nothing to do with the story. You came to see the Killing Joke. You didn't come here you came here to see the Joker trying to prove the point of that one bad day drives everyone insane. But no, you get this fucking plotline about this guy who fancies Batgirl, and to the point where he hires hookers and makes them wear Batgirl masks. Not joking, by the way. Cuts up a pillowcase to make it a Batgirl mask on a boat. But yeah, there's also a part where Batman and Batgirl fuck, which feels really fanfiction-y, and it's not that great. It's also really awkward between them two, and they haven't caught Paris at this point because Batgirl made a fuck up, and because she showed up. Basically, she finds out that the uncle's been killed, and then a bunch of his men come in and try to kill her in the penthouse, and Batman saves her because he's Batman. Batman saves his sidekicks a lot, except from Jason Todd. But we won't talk about that. But yeah, they fuck, and it's quite odd, quite weird as well when you take into consideration their ages. Because Batgirl's like what, early 20s, maybe 18, 19, and Batman's like late 40s. No, not late 40s, late 30s, I meant to say. But yeah, I kind of derailed my point there. But yeah, so basically, also that wouldn't go over well with Jim if we found out. Could you imagine if they had a kid? Be like, oh, who's the father? Oh, it's Batman. And would probably tell the police to arrest Batman for that. But nah. So basically, Batgirl, to find Paris Franz, Batgirl beats the shit out of him, and almost to the point of death. Batman gave her the whole entire abyss speech earlier. The whole entire, if I kill someone, I'll go down the abyss and kill more people. Which is mentioned in quite a few animated films. And the comics, for example, it's mentioned under the Red Hood. But it made a bit more sense in that. But she almost kills him, and then I say almost, she just bloodies him up a little bit. And he makes a period joke. Which, I don't care. It's quite fun. It's quite funny the first time. In my opinion, it was funny for me the first time. But yeah. So, as I said, I usually skip the first 30 minutes. But anyway, after this, she stops being Batgirl. Holds no bearing on the Killing Joke part of the story at all. What we came here to see. So, next, Batman goes and investigates a room that has 4 bodies in chairs with smiles on their faces, and there's a stage with a microphone. It's pretty obvious that the Joker did this. Apparently it's been 3 years. They've been dead for 3 years, because Harvey Bullock tells Batman about the dentist convention from 3 years ago, and I didn't think that was a thing, a dentist convention. But yeah, so they talk about that, and then Batman's like, yeah, I need to speak to Jim Gordon, and Harvey's like, oh, it says father-daughter day. Like, what? And Batman's like, doesn't matter, I need to speak to him. And he's like, okay. And then Jim calls Barbara and tells her that he's going to go speak to Batman. Like, that wasn't very necessary. You didn't need to know that you kind of assume that he would tell Barbara that. You don't have to see it. But yeah. So this is where we actually get to the Killing Joke, which is Batman, because in the graphic novel it starts with Batman going up to Arkham Asylum. So, he goes to Arkham Asylum. He's like, I need to speak to the Joker. Well, he says him. He doesn't say Joker. And we get a cameo of Two-Face, who for some reason has dropped his coin outside the fucking door like an idiot. like, he usually pings the coin, but for some reason he's somehow managed to get out the window and he's scratching trying to reach it. But yeah. Anyway, Batman, don't matter. Batman goes to see the Joker, and he goes to talk to him about their relationship and how it might end with them killing one of them killing the other, and he doesn't want it to end that way. But they're running out of alternatives, he says, and yeah, Joker says nothing, because it's not the Joker. He's just flipping cards. It's just a guy who's supposed to be pretending to be the Joker, which obviously Batman finds off when he doesn't speak. So Batman finds out because paint comes off of the guy's hand and he's like that. But Batman looks at his glove and sees that there's white paint, and he gets angry, starts asking him where he is, and Jim's like, you can't hurt him because it's the law, but it's not actually the Joker, so he gets to interrogate him, and Kevin Conroy does a good job with his voice work in this scene, especially when he calls him a stinking stain. I know that doesn't sound very scary, but I'd imagine the voice that he puts on, along with being the Batman, would probably make that sound scary. But yeah, so he's not very happy about the fact that the Joker's gone. But anyway, we cut to the Joker at a carnival talking about how the place smells like piss, and how he knows the scents of the toilet. But he says it more eloquently in French. But yeah, so the carney is telling him that it's a good place, and Joker's just pointing out a lot of problems, and the guy's like, is that a problem? He's like, no, it's actually better, because he's the Joker. Anything that could hurt anyone is better in his opinion. But yeah, so Joker has a flashback to before he was the Joker, because this is the supposed origin story, and that's why I mentioned it in the 1989 review, Batman review, because it takes the falling into the chemical as part of Joker's backstory. But yeah, this is before that. Basically, a guy, we don't know his name, comes in, he sees his wife, Jeannie. You can tell it's supposed to be the Joker because he's got the same head shape, and he looks like how the Joker would look like without the green hair and the chalk white skin and the red lips. And yeah, he basically comes back after a failed stand-up act, and of course he's all upset because they're living in a one-room apartment, I believe. It's one room, and they're behind on the rent, and such and such. Sad story, he's behind on the rent, and he's got a baby that's due in 3 months with his wife, Jeannie, and Anna, a woman called Anna Vocino, I think that's her name. She does a good job portraying a loving wife. Well, through voice, obviously. Well, the animation does most of the visual job, of course. Well, all the visual job. But yeah. So she basically tries to calm him down, stop him from crying. He's not very happy because nobody laughed and he fucked up a punchline. And yeah, they have a chat about things, and she says that he's good in the sack, and that he makes her laugh, and that the landlord feels sorry for her, and that she apparently gives him dirty looks, which I believe the whole entire thing about him being good in the sack is just trying to boost his ego. You never know though. But yeah. So after that, Joker is back to the present day, where the Joker's still speaking to the guy who's trying to sell him the carnival, and he kills him. And yeah, it's all good. He tells him that he's already paid. He's already got the place, it's his already, and that he was just looking for it, and the guy is apparently happy about it, and that's when he reveals that he's dead, because he's got the big smile on his face, and dead eyes, but they look goofy because they're kind of off. They look cockeyed, but they don't look like that later for some reason. But yeah, so next we cut to Bruce at the Batcave trying to figure out what the Joker is up to, and Alfred shows up and they have a chat about the Joker and Batman, how they know nothing about each other, and how could they hate each other so much when they know nothing about each other. And Alfred's just like, don't underestimate him, and Bruce is like, well, you shouldn't underestimate me. Which, yeah, they keep trying to foreshadow that Batman might kill him, because, you know, there's the whole entire mention of the Abyss before in that 30 minutes, but that's about all that matters in comparison. But yeah, after that, we get the scene that's the comic is most famous for when it comes to Batgirl. Basically, Barbara and Jim are at Barbara's place, or I think it might be Jim's. It's Jim's. Basically, they're talking, you know, about times. Basically, she says that she's found the Catwoman scrapbook that Jim has, and Jim's doing the Joker one, which means that he's probably got a room full of fucking scrapbooks that are dedicated to every Batman villain. He's probably got one on Two-Face and Riddler and, you know, everyone. I don't even have enough fingers to count everyone. But yeah, so he's probably got a good couple of rooms full of those. But yeah, that doesn't matter. It's the part where Barbara can't be Batgirl no more. So basically, there's a ring at the door. Barbara goes to answer. Joker's there, shoots her in through the front, hitting her in the spine, and she gets smashed into a coffee table. Joker walks in with a couple of goons, makes some jokes about her being a librarian and, you know, books, because you know, she's a librarian. Of course, you're going to make a couple of jokes about books, saying that she thinks it's a psychological manifestation, thinking that she's a coffee table edition, and that there's damage on the sleeve and the spine appears to be damaged, and that it won't be walking off the shelves anytime soon. Actually, the idea of walking it all seems quite remote. That's a couple of good ones. I like those. I find them quite funny, although it's dark. But yeah. So after that, Joker has a flashback to him back before he was the Joker yet again, and he's in a bar and he's talking to a couple of crooks that look like if Nintendo decided to make a decided to make a gangster movie out of Wario and Waluigi. And yeah, they genuinely do look like them in suits and bowler hats. But yeah, basically they talk about how they've got something that they want to do. They need him, and he basically gives his sob story that he's got a wife, he's got a pregnant wife, and the baby's due, and you know he's failing at being a stand-up comedian, and he needs to do this so that they can move out and have a good life. And yeah, it turns out that they need him to lead them through the chemical plant to go to a playing card company so that they can rob that. And he basically wants to know that he'll be anonymous. And they tell him that he will. They bring out a briefcase, and in the briefcase is the red hood, mask, and cape. And it turns out that anyone wears this if they want extra anonymity. But yeah, after that, back at the carnival, the lights are on. It's only like 2 seconds. It looks really weird, not gonna lie. I find the way it looks quite weird. It's different in comparison to all the other animations. But now we're at the hospital where Barbara gets tested to see if she'll move. As the doctor sticks a couple pins, does a couple pin presses into her foot. Of course, no reaction, and he's like, she'll never walk again. And then Batman has another conversation with Harvey Bullock, and he says that she was seen in a state of undress, and Batman's like, what? But yeah, he tells Harvey to fuck off, and then he tries to talk to Barbara, and he doesn't mention anything about what happened before she got shot, but then she tells him exactly what happened. You know, Joker saying that Jim's the main topping the bill. Oh, I forgot to mention that he said that. He says he's topping the bill to be careful with him, and that he's got to prove a point. Because Barbara also asked him during that scene why he done it. He's like, to prove a point. But yeah, so after this, Gordon is at the carnival, and he finds that he's naked and he's got a collar around his neck with an ugly midget and angel wings pulling it, and yeah, it's demanding him to move around, and leads him to the Joker, who's sitting on a throne on top of a hill of baby hens. How long did that take him to make that fucking hill of baby hens? I don't think that was there when he bought the carnival. Although, to be fair, he does have a pretty big group. So yeah, maybe that happened. That's how it happened. But yeah, Joker starts talking about memories to Jim, because Jim says, I remember what happened, and he's like, yo, you don't want to do that. Memories are a bad thing, they will water down the hallucinations. That's actually a line that he says. He finds that memories water down the hallucinations. One of the things that I really like about this film is Mark Hamill is Joker voice doing the monologues, talking about things such as memories, and yeah, basically saying how they're like little brutes, like children. And after that, he has another flashback, but this time it's to Friday night, and he's told his wife that he's gonna be doing some stand-up, and he's talking to the crooks, and he finds out that his wife is dead in an accident with a baby bottle, which I don't understand, because the baby isn't born yet. So why is she already got a baby bottle full of milk and heating it? But it doesn't matter. Crooks don't really look like they know what happened, but they do look at each other when he's talking to the police officer outside, like they might have to kill him, because he might tell them. He might squeal, but he doesn't squeal, because Joker knows what squeals look like. But yeah, that's also another reference to a different film. But anyway, after that, we go to Batman in the present day, beating up a bunch of crooks, trying to find out where he is, because he goes recruiting, but he hasn't done that this time, because he's different. He's trying to prove a point. But yeah, he ends up going to a crime boss, and he beats the shit out of all of his goons. They have a grand old chat, and crime boss says, if I knew anything about him, I'd tell you, because we may be scared of you, but we're terrified of him. And the little thing that he says, I like that line though. Anyway, back at the carnival, there's a court scene. There's a scene where Jim Gordon has to basically tell him about a person who's broken the law and everything that he stands for. What would you do? And Jim says that he'd throw the book. Of course, Joker's cracking jokes. When they say order in the court, he says, I'll have ham on rye. It's not a good one, but as he says, it doesn't have to be good to be a classic. But yeah, basically, there's a real book that Jim has to throw that says the law on it, and he throws it, and then a fucking cardboard Batman pops up, and Joker explains to him that the person on trial is actually Batman, and not the Joker, like Jim obviously thought. But yeah, after that, we cut to Batman asking 3 prostitutes questions. And Batman is like a 5-year-old. He does not understand what they mean by have a good time. But yeah, anyway, Bat Signal comes up and Batman has to fuck off. And then that's when we get the scene that I was talking about earlier, where Mark Hamill seems to be really into it. Basically, he sends Jim on another part of the ride, and he sings the song Go Loony, which I like the song. I think it's alright. It is in a graphic novel. Quite a lot of people have complained because they believe that it's more creepy in the novel than a show tune like it is in the film. But I think either way would be Joker's style. But, you know, I like it the way it is in this. He also seems like he's having fun voicing it. Mark Hamill does. And, yeah, basically, he's torturing Jim with pictures of Barbara naked and bloody and, you know, all that. And, of course, at the end of the song, Jim screams Barbara. But I do like that song. I find it quite catchy. It's pretty much playing on loop in my brain right now as I say this. But yeah, turns out Batman got called over to the police station because he's got an invite to the carnival. Joker's given him a ticket. And yeah, Joker continues to talk to Gordon about memories and such. And, you know, reality and hallucinations. But yeah, he has a flashback to the chemical plant robbery when they actually rob the place, and he gets the Red Hood mask put on. And Waluigi says that he's got a funny looking head, he's got a funny shaped head when he tries to put the Red Hood mask on him. And he says maybe he should, instead of being a comedian, he should become a clown. Always foreshadowing, you know, wink wink. That's essentially what that was. And he makes the guy laugh. Waluigi makes Joker laugh. Oh, before he's the Joker, and basically says that he should probably be looking more into his line of work than him into theirs. But yeah, basically, chemical robbery goes tits up. Waluigi and Wario get shot, and they both in the head. They both fucking die, and he runs off onto a catwalk where Batman meets him, and he trips over his own cape into a vat of chemicals. You know, he falls down, and he ends up getting spat out the other end, and you know, his skin burns, it's itching, and he doesn't like it, and he takes the mask off, and he looks in a puddle and sees what he looks like now. He's the Joker. He does the ha 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 thing with the blood coming down his eyes, and I like that bit. I think that's I like in the graphic novel with all the has behind him instead of the background, but it's alright, I guess. But yeah, basically Joker arrives at the carnival and he beats the shit out of Joker's crew. And you know, he runs into Joker, they have a little bit of a tussle. Joker acid flowers him and runs away into the fun house, and Batman, of course, deals with the acid one and saves Jim. You know, takes him out of the cage, and Jim tells him that they need to prove that their way works, and that they have to do it by the book. You know, Batman can't just go ape shit, beat the shit out of him and kill him. You know, he can't do that. I mean, I know that there's people out there that have said that Jim would be justified to kill the Joker because, you know, self-defense. Which, yeah, he does try to kill him. He does try to stab him with a pair of scissors when he gets kidnapped. But apart from that, he does fuck up. But he can't really do anything else. Because, you know, he's got a collar around his neck with a leash that's attached to an ugly midget. But, yeah. So, Batman goes after him in the fun house. Jim keeps screaming by the book as Batman forces his way into the fun house. He looks quite pissed off when he does it as well. Like, he's like, yeah, whatever, by the book. Anyway, he goes in Hall of Mirrors, and then we get the famous Joker monologue that literally everyone who plays the Joker when they go to Comic-Con recites. You know, the whole entire Gordon's been driven mad, and World War II, telegraph poles, and a flock of geese on a computer screen, and if he's going to have a past, he'd prefer it to be multiple choice, and Batman follows him through the the maze of mirrors, and he tosses one of the midgets into a spike trap. So yeah, I guess this Batman doesn't have the no killing rule. But yeah, him and Joker have a tussle in a upside down kitchen, and yeah, Joker's basically explaining how life is just one big cruel joke, and everyone can go batshit insane at just from one bad day. And then Batman says no, and he's like, no, Jim's perfectly fine. Maybe it's not ordinary people that crack. Maybe it's just you. Of course, Joker's not willing to accept that. So he pokes him in the eyes and brings down his mask as he screams no. And then they continue to tussle, and to the point where Batman tackles him out of a window, and they fall. And Joker tries to shoot him, but it's a joke. It's a joke gun. You know, the click click little flag pops out. Which, you know, you would usually expect the Joker to do that as just a gag, and then it actually shoots. Like in some versions it does. But, yeah. So, Joker's not very happy, you know, because his plan's fucked up. And he says for Batman to basically kick the shit out of him and get a standing ovation. And Batman says, no, not this time, I don't want to hurt you, I want to help you. And then he gives him the whole entire relationship spiel that he gave to the fake Joker, you know, that I don't want to kill you, and I could try and help you, and Joker's like, nah, it's too late for that. And then he tells him about the joke. I really like this joke, by the way. I even might have told the joke before to someone. But, yeah, he tells him about the joke about the two inmates that escaped an asylum. And one jumped across. Basically, there was a bunch of rooftops. Much better told in the animated version and the book than I'm telling it. But basically, they see a bunch of rooftops leading to freedom, and one of them jumps across, no problem, and the other one is having problems. And the guy who jumps across says he has a flashlight, and that if he lights the beam across the buildings, then he can walk across. The other guy goes, what do you think I am, crazy? You'll just turn it off when I get halfway across. Which I find quite funny. Anyway, so does Batman. Batman and Joker share a laugh, and it does the graphic novel thing where it pans down to just some rain in a puddle, and all you can hear is Batman laughing. Which, yeah, you don't know if he's killed the Joker, and I don't think he has, because he's still going. Anyway, after the credits, there's a low-end credit scene that wasn't really needed, and it kind of damages it, because, you know, it kind of proves that he didn't kill the Joker. And one of the reasons why the killing joke is still talked about is because it's left ambiguous as to whether the Batman killed the Joker or not. But of course there are later comics that treat this as canon, and, you know, he's still alive, and such and such. Basically, the end credit scene is Barbara becomes Oracle. That's it. She just goes into she's basically on the phone to her dad talking about she's doing Paralympic sports, basically. You know, sports that you see in the Paralympics for people in wheelchairs. And she then goes off into some room, and there's a bunch of computers, and she's like, okay, now I'm Oracle. And that's the end of the film. That shouldn't have been there, in my opinion. That was unneeded. They should have just left it with before it says the title Batman, the killing joke. That's where they should have left it, and they should have started it when Batman was going to the asylum. Because that's because he doesn't mention the 4 dead people ever again. He just doesn't. And that's it. So yeah, as I said, 6 out of 10 Joker cards. But yeah, this could have been done a little bit better. Not gonna lie, definitely could have been done a bit better by not having that. But yeah, if you want to watch it, I'd recommend skipping the first 30 minutes until Batman goes to Arkham. That's when you should start. But if you want to watch all the way through like I did, and waste your time watching the 30 minutes of padding, well, I may have gone past that 30 minutes of padding. Pretty sure my 30 minutes of review before is better than the padding. But yeah, anyway, with that, as I said, 6 out of 10, and with that, I'm going to end this here. Joker is hopefully going to be the next review. Well, not next review, but hopefully it'll be out soon. Hopefully I'll see it soon and I'll make a review about it soon. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, do what you do. And if you're new here and you want to help me out, why not the subscribe button? And if you want notifications, you got to hit the bell, because the bell is a thing. It's not like hitting subscribe is all that there needs to be in order to get notifications, but YouTube doesn't think so. But yeah, and I'll hopefully see you next time, and good